Meta ads. What do the metrics mean? How are they important for your ads? And what aspect of the ad to change if any of these metrics are performing poorly? My name is Jalen Rinehart. I'm the CEO of Marketing Excellency, and I'm here to explain and help to improve your ad performance. So today I will be sharing my screen and showing one of the ads that I have actually been running for a year now, from August 2023 to August 2024. Now we will be using a leads campaign that is targeted to people in the United States, and this is for selling a tour, just so that you know a little bit of the concept of what this ad is about. At the top, you have these different columns, right? And these columns are what you are going to use to know the metrics, how your ad is performing. Like I said, what to change, what to keep the same, what to improve, and that type of information. So let's start out with the basic metrics that everybody should understand, which is the reach. Pretty much, the reach is how many different people have seen your ad. Here you can see that the total reach for this campaign was 120,000 people, 829. So how to increase reach, right? Well, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, try to make the ad less specific. If you remove a certain thing, or actually if you add more locations, right, which is a bigger audience, you will get more reach, because essentially what that will do is it will make the reach cheaper, right? And again, if you're using the same amount of money, the cheaper the reach is, the more you will get. To increase this, try to be as less specific as possible, remove any interest, add more placements, add more locations, and yeah, that will help increase it. The second one is impressions. So the impressions is pretty much the amount of times people saw it, but the key difference between reach is how many different people have seen it. You can see here the impressions for this ad is 347,110. This means that a couple of the people who Meta presented my ad to saw the ad multiple times. Increasing the impressions is same as increasing the reach. So those go hand in hand. Let's move on. So the next metric is CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. That's pretty much what that acronym means. It's very self-explanatory. For every 1,000 impressions you get, which is, like I said, how many times Meta has shown your ad to somebody, for every 1,000, they'll put a price on it. A lot of times you want to use this metric to know how expensive it is to show your ad. Ideally, you want this number to be as low as possible, because as we all know, volume will help the performance of your ad. So of course, the more people see your ad, the better results will be. The cheaper you can get this number, the more volume, the more results. And again, with reach and impressions, CPM, all of those, to increase those numbers, you want to do the same thing. Remove some of the specific and be less targeted, right? Be as broad as possible. The more broad, the better these results are going to be. Next, we will be talking about frequency. Frequency goes very hand in hand with reach and impressions. Frequency is pretty much how many times each person sees your ad. So for example, for the frequency on this ad is 2.87, which means every one person has seen this ad on average 2.87 times, close to 3 times every person. For this metric, it really depends on what type of ad you're running and what's the objective. For me personally, if I'm starting a fresh ad where the budget is very low, I want to go for as low frequency as possible, because what that means is I'm just showing it to more people. and I want as many people to see this ad as possible, so I want the frequency to be low. Now, if I'm being more targeted as far as who I'm showing it to, and I want to just show it the same ad multiple times, drill it into people's head until they end up converting, then you want the frequency to be higher. Like I said, for this, it really depends you as the ad manager, what's your strategy, but using the frequency method or analytic, it can really help you determine where you want to go with that strategy. So next we will be talking about CTR. So CTR is pretty much the percentage of impressions that end up clicking. So here you can see on this ad we have a CTR of 6.4%, which means out of all the impressions, 6.4% of them ended up clicking on something. That doesn't mean that they ended up giving their information through a lead form. They could have just either clicked to see the form, and even if they exit out of the form, it still counts as a click. To increase that number, you want to be focusing on the creative, so the image or video, and the primary text and the headlines. So that first impression of your ad is what will either increase this number or decrease it. And CTR is such an important metric. You should always go with a goal of what CTR you're aiming for, so that you can make sure that if it's lower than your goal, you know that you need to make some improvements to, like I said, the creative, image, video, or the text. Maybe it's not persuading people, maybe it's not connecting with people, so they just scroll right past. And this is in the form of a percentage. Now we're gonna go to cost per click. So instead of a percentage, now we're looking at a value, a number on it. For example, each click is costing this ad 16 cents. Similar to CTR, that doesn't mean these are leads that are converting for 16 cents. This just means that people are clicking on it, and the main point to use this metric is comparing it to your cost per result. If your CPC is very, very low, but then your cost per result or cost per lead is very, very high, that means the first impression is doing good because you're getting people to click. But then when they go to your form, for example, it might be too complicated. You might have too many questions on it. They might click off. Maybe the information on the form that you're presenting to them isn't really moving them to give you their information. So I use CPC pretty much for those two. Number one, to know if the first impression is good, and number two, just to cross-reference with my cost per result to make sure it's adding up and my form isn't losing me a lot of leads. Let's move on. Now we have link clicks. So this all goes the same. CTR is percentage, CPC is price, link clicks is just the total amount of time people have clicked the link. All of that goes together. So we can move on. Now we have results. So when it comes to a lead campaign on Meta, the results would be how many times a lead has given you their contact information. It's a total number. So here you can see for this ad, we were able to generate 2,414 total leads. So those are total contacts that we have from this ad that we can then go ahead and convert and sell them. So now we have cost per result. Cost per result goes hand in hand with results. Is pretty much how much does each individual lead cost. As you can see here, my cost per result is $1.49 or $1.50. There's a lot of ways for you to lower this number. Ideally, for any ads manager, anybody running an ad, this is the main metric you will be looking at. Of course, the cheaper the cost per result, the more leads you're getting, and the more leads you're getting, the more possibilities you have to convert. The more possibilities you have to convert, the more money you will make, the more profitable the ad is. So this is definitely by far the most important and the metric that we all care about the most. The way to increase this is pretty much by utilizing all of the metrics I just explained to you before. So reach affects the cost per result a lot. CTR affects the cost per result a lot. CPC affects the cost per result a lot, because these are the metrics that you're going to use, that you're going to optimize, and a lot of times your cost per result are going to be a reflection of the other metrics. So if all the other metrics are doing very good, then your cost per result is going to be very good and very low. Now, if you have metrics that are really crazy, like if your reach is extremely low, best believe that cost per result is going to be high. If the CTR is very low, if people are just scrolling right past your ad, Meta's still charging you. You just have a bad ad. So they're still going to charge you, but you're not converting because your ad isn't good. And of course, that's just going to mean you're paying more for your leads. This understanding all these metrics is pretty much how you become good at running ads, because as long as all of these numbers look good, if you have a KPI document, if you know what you are aiming for, if you know what is considered good, and you're hitting those numbers, you're ads expert. And this is what experts do, is they know how to take these metrics and what to improve, what to optimize. Being an ad expert is really about the daily grind. You're looking at this ad every day, you're looking at the performance, you're seeing what you can change, you're seeing what you can leave alone. And for example, for this specific ad, as humbly as possible, it has performed extremely well. Super low cost on the results. CTR is amazing. Reach is amazing for US. These results took me 2, maybe 3 months to even get to this level. The good thing about ads is once you have something going, once you really hit that sweet spot and Meta really knows your audience, you don't have to do too much after the first 2 to 3 months. Of course, that doesn't mean you just leave. I haven't just left this ad on for the rest of the year and just forgot about it. I'm still changing the creative to update it. I'm still changing the text, because even though after a while it will start to get better, after a certain point it will start to get worse. This happens with all ads. So the trick to make sure that you're consistently hitting good numbers and actually improving as the time goes, make small adjustments, maybe every month, every 2 months, just so that it's kind of fresh, the ad, and you will be good to go. You will be running a very successful campaign for over a year, like I have done here. So that's it for the training for today. If you have any questions, any videos you would like for me to make for anybody, please drop them in the comments. If anybody would like to see me go into this ad in specific to see how I got these numbers I got, what optimizations I changed, kind of to get more into depth about my specific process of doing ads, let me know. Please subscribe. Like the video if this helped you, and if you need any help with any digital marketing, running ads, social media, website, or anything, contact Marketing Excellency. We're here to help you. Thank you so much.